Well, hello, kindred spirits. I thought I would share with you what I've been doing for the week, and it all has to do with, once again, being a little selfish and organizing the house. Now, to start with organizing, I ended up going around the house and grabbing all of my craft items I could find, and I know there's still more. But what I did is I finally made a dedicated space in this house, which I never had, for all of my crafting items. I still have fabric to collect from upstairs and some other things, but I got a really good start. Then I went and I grabbed all of my fabric memo samples, wallpaper memo samples, trims, things that I've had from past client projects, and I decided to keep the ones that I like, but I was going to get rid of some that I just knew I wouldn't probably use in my projects in the future or maybe with a client. So I ended up making a pile. I was going to bring them to the swap shop for teachers or children who want to do some crafts. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have my own projects I want to do. So I sat last night, and on the line of being selfish, I could have done some other things in the house. I decided to sit and cut out paper hearts, and I used the wallpaper I was going to donate, and I ended up making some hearts for the house here in colors that I know I like and that will work here in the house. So I'm going to show you how I made those, and the video's kind of rough because I literally was just going to sit there and do it, and then I decided to not be selfish and videotape while I was just sitting in my living room enjoying some quiet time, because once again, Ben was traveling, very few times that he travels, but we've had it a couple times this past 2 weeks. And as you'll see, I also did some snow blowing because I wanted to have him come home to a nice cleared spot after his very late flight home again. And he does so much for me. It was one of those little things that I could do for him to at least let him know I was thinking of him and clear the spot. Even though it was like 8 or 10 degrees last night, I was cold. And speaking of cold, it is only 20 degrees right now. I'm waiting for Carla to pick me up. We're going thrifting today. But another thing I tried is I wanted to see if I could make eggs. I have so many beautiful colored wallpapers. I was like, maybe I can make some eggs. So I tried that, but right now it makes me more think of a rocket ship or a reamer to get out some juice from limes and lemons. So this I will have to work on. But I was having fun, and I started with black and white just in case it worked here for the kitchen. But I will show you how I did that. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm going to do a little organizing, some crafting, and like I said, this video is very casual because I just set up the camera while I was already half into the project and decided to share it with you because I can only be selfish for so long. Almost time to go shopping. I have been walking around the house and I've been creating doom boxes on purpose. Now I have been walking around and grabbing anything that has to do with crafting. And the reason being is I wanted to start and do some craft projects with you, and I realized that everything I have is scattered. So going to this new year, just like I did with organizing the house, I'm now going to organize all of my craft items. I cleared some shelves off in the guest bedroom, and I'm hoping to put things in some clear plastic bins and maybe by season, I'm not sure yet. I have a lot of paint that I found was not doing well when I went to paint Sir Pot Watcher. So I'm going to see if these are good. If they're not, they will be disposed of properly. And I'm just going to have fun in getting my crafting products together, and then I'll know where to go to put things away when I find more items. Another reason that I am definitely going to be organizing everything that I own, little by little, mind you. I had this box. I came across these, as you saw. I just added them in here. Didn't realize I had that many. I ended up buying these just before Christmas to do some projects. And I'm guessing I have more down in the basement. So it will be interesting to see the collection that I have of paintbrushes. I better be doing a lot of painting and a lot of crafts. Now, I know for a fact some of these go back more than 20 years, and I'm going to open each one. I know I did that when I moved from Groton, but I found some really bad ones when I was doing some crafting the other day. So I'm going to put my stenciling brushes in with the paintbrushes. That will give me more space in here. Let's see. Love my Rub and Buffs. Oh gosh, this is a product that I try to keep on hand all of the time. I have all different colors and I've used it on so many different projects. But I'll probably put them in a little container within this container because they do get lost at the bottom. Yes, that one's definitely dried out and no longer can be used. Asked me when the last time I did a wood project when I needed to burn some wood. I have no idea. That's how old this is. But I'm going to keep it in this box with my heat embossing gun. I used to love doing a lot of embossing. And just using a chenille tie here just to keep the cords kind of together. And I always keep in the bag, these were just in a plastic bag, just taking up too much space. I always keep a extension cord in the bag as well, so that I don't have to go and scramble looking for one when I bring any of these items out. And then once I take off these chenille ties, it can be right next to me on the workspace, and then I can just use it again to keep these together. Let's see if I can get my top on like that. Sure we can. Good. Now that's ready to go on the shelf as well. That will fit. I'll just take it a little bit. It is the next day, and I am right now going through the several containers of wallpaper samples that I have. So right now I'm putting them by color, and then also, once again, getting rid of ones that I just don't resonate with anymore. Now that I've gone through them once, I'm going through one last time before I put them into my little holders here to go on the shelf. And I'm realizing some of them I just need to let go. I mean, there's some here that I would never recommend or show, and they're probably discontinued because I've had them for a while. But this is one of my favorites. I just love this one from Brunswick and Fee. The color is so beautiful, but I have not had the opportunity to use it yet, and it might be discontinued. I should probably check. But I'm also saving it for this background color, like the periwinkle. I think it's beautiful. Someday might find a place for that. Well, I was looking at all of the wallpapers that I was going to donate at the swap shop, thinking somebody else could use it for craft projects. And then I'm like, well, what about me and my craft projects? So I started to play, thinking of some Valentines things. And I started to play with some of the papers. And I'm going to make a few hearts. This was kind of my first prototype of just using 4 pieces of paper. I'm going to do next one with 6. I'm going to try to make some smaller ones, because if they're smaller, I figured I could maybe hang them in the window or just somewhere fun and use the colors that are in my house, because I don't have pinks, I don't have reds, and even though I know that represents Valentine's Day, I've never really been huge on having Valentine's decorations in the house. But I think if I made it towards my color palette, I'd be more willing to do so.
So I just took one of my pieces of paper and I folded it and I just cut it out by hand. And now I'm going to try to match it, and I'm going to just go right down to the point this one made, just so I can have enough of the paper. I could trace it out, but that would be too easy. I'm just going to cut it out this way, and then if I need to, I will modify it a bit. But now I'm just going to cut this. This one's going to be in my way though. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. Just get rid of these little pieces. Just going to start in the folded side, bring my little tip of the heart there down to the bottom, and just going to cut around this. And I did the same with the blue one, so I know I was able to trim and cut it to look the way I wanted it to, but to be a little bit more precise, I would probably sit and sketch these out with a pencil. I just want to see if this works. This is not, of course, a new craft project per se, but I've seen it done with 3, and I just created the 4, and I'm going to try it, like I said, with 6 or 7. So then I'm going to fold these on themselves so I can glue them together.
I'm going to try to walk you through this. I know it's a little difficult watching this way, but what I'm doing is just gluing one side of the heart, and then I'm going to take one of my other folded hearts, and it's going to go backside to backside, matching it up. And then once I fold that down, I'm going to add a little more glue to that side and repeat the process. I'm going to grab another heart and do it again. I'm going to use the back side of the folded heart, and you can keep going in that one direction. At this point, I'm going to add some string so I can hang it. I'm now going to glue on the other side and do the same process. I'm going to grab one of my folded hearts, and it's going to go back to back, and you're going to see how I'm going to fold it upon itself. Now at this point, I just kept repeating the process until there are no more hearts, and there's going to be one section that is not glued. You just add your glue, fold it over so that you have no more back sides of the heart showing. I hope that makes sense. And then at this point, I let all of the hearts dry. I made quite a few, you'll see. And some of the hearts had a little bit more of a wider edge than the other. I'm just trimming it and making them nice and neat. I thought I would take a moment just to share something I thought was very cute. First, in the background you can see I tucked some of the old rolls that were left over from our party. I didn't want to throw them out, and I wasn't going to throw them on the ground because I didn't want Willow to get them. And the birds, as you will see, are thoroughly enjoying them. Well, while I was grabbing my coffee and I was looking out the window, I saw that Willow made her way to the tree. What I thought was funny is I walked onto the porch with my phone, and it's almost like she could feel me looking at her, because all of a sudden she just looked back and she was caught.
Yeah, I'm watching
She was
you.
so fresh, but she's so cute.
You think you're a bird dog now? Fresh.
Now, truth be told, I found making those so relaxing. I couldn't stop. I ended up making a paper chain, but this time I just did little hearts, and it was very simple. I just took a very pretty piece of paper, I cut my strips, folded them upon themselves, a little glue, and once again made this chain, and I now have it hanging on our fireplace mantle.